Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ubisoft Forward press conference for the E3, not E3, 2020. Welcome to Alise back to the channel. How's it going?
Hey, good.
Any big predictions for this one coming up?
Controversy. Okay, moving on. I'm hoping to see some Watch Dogs Legion. That was what we were all excited about last time. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more. We haven't seen anything since we watched the little lady go and smack the crap out of some dude. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I expect to see some more Valhalla. But that's it for me. That's what I'm keen on.
Yeah, for me, Gods and Monsters, that game has potential. I want to see what they're going to do with it. I think they even had a rumor that they're going to potentially change the name for that game, so it'll be interesting to see what that is. Also, there was a leak yesterday from apparently a Instagram ad that claims that the new Assassin's Creed is going to come out 2 days before Cyberpunk. And so if that happens, that's not going to be good for them. So
I think that's funny.
Be interesting to see if we have anything else on Beyond Good and Evil 2. Also, Skull and Bones, which got sidelined.
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft Forward.
It's go time, right?
Explore our world.
All right, well, here we go, chat.
See the games.
Join us.
This stream's also very loud.
I had to turn
Hi
mine up a
everyone,
little
I'm
bit.
Neelam Kumar, and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Mageed. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers have
So we're starting with Watch Dogs.
Ding, 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 ding.
What if we get a release date for this?
Spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people, as was originally believed.
I'm going to turn it up a little bit, chat.
The criminal suspected to have links with the
Is
terrorist.
that a Beyond Good and Evil 2 Easter egg right there?
Maybe.
It was a flash of the pig. Could just be me though.
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out, because I was not a foreigner. Then, they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out, because I was not a protester.
Okay, this quote is really cool, and then they're giving it.
Then they came for the journalists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a journalist.
That is correct, Sotor John. This is the one where you can play as anybody. Yep.
And then they came for street artists, but I did not speak out, because I am not a street artist.
Oh, he jumped the drone.
Okay, that is cool. I mean, the camera angles on that is just so cool.
And I realised that eventually they'd come for me, and there would be no one left to speak for me.
interesting little cinematic they got for this.
Right! Oh! Nice! Where are we off to, sir?
It's fine. I'll show you the way.
Okay. Sorry, miss. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
It's gonna be very interesting to see if they've actually pulled back on the whole you can play as anybody thing, because that's really ambitious.
After a long night, London is in chaos. The main arteries through the city are blocked. Hundreds of heavily armed Albion...
Well. Welcome to the Resistance.
See?
There's a welcome
Beyond
gift
good and evil. Isn't that the pig mask?
Disappearance of the criminal
Isn't that the pig head?
Could have told me it was
Could
a
be, yeah.
bloody costume party.
has been raised.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked not to approach him. The authorities advise all residents...
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you.
Looks like not.
You help them with their problem. You play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it
One
to
of the big
us.
And
questions
that's how you recruit
was
them into your team. And then they
how
become the
much
heroes
voice
of the game
acting
and
does
the
this game
stars of
have?
your story.
And what are you doing in my
If you can
flat?
play as
You with
anybody.
Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Our London town. A modern metropolis. Built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up, and one night to tear it all down.
Oh my God.
Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm quite
With
happy
London
it's
under
not the
attack
United
by a
States.
mysterious terrorist,
Yeah.
I want to see somewhere
the
else.
government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize this.
He will stop at nothing to permanently control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him. Her.
There's already been a lot of people saying, like, oh, I'm going to make, like, nothing but old granny
Everyone
squad.
can become your
stuff
next
like that.
secret weapon.
Old Granny
In our
Squad
first mission,
and Mom's
we need to get some
with,
dirt on Nigel
strollers.
Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes.
It's a really neat idea. It's never been done before.
Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone.
Now the real
Perfect
question
for
is
gate
how
crashing
many different
when you're not invited.
quote-unquote
And
classes
who
are there
needs
going to
a
be?
regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun?
Come in, you soidoid shit boy.
So this is like the construction worker, right?
I would imagine there has to be some like general like category that they're in.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could approach
You
this
know what I
mission
mean? Like in
differently.
Dragon Age,
If you'd rather keep your
you've got
distance,
like
we've
your
got
mage.
you covered.
There's like how many different types
Amy
of
is a
mage
drone
you can be,
expert.
So
What have we here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aims, she fires, she hits.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor.
Drone
And
battle.
if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done.
and see, this is awesome right here.
Recruiting
We've
an
got-
Albion officer like Brielle here might be
can-
challenging.
It's like
But it'll
Skyrim,
get you inside
right? You can
restricted
build
Albion
anything.
areas.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the Defense Minister on the line right now.
Well, if you feel you must.
Ouch.
Criminals running our streets. Illegals threatening our families. The police commissioner himself. Assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his
Class,
team.
the drunk.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Wow,
He does have a
gutsy.
slight
That dude had like a
problem, though.
crowbar.
And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what?
Called it.
Let's go with someone a bit more professional. It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
Ooh. Yikes. If you want to be, this is like the
Some
soldier
might
right
even
here.
call him
Yeah.
an artist.
Maybe the assassin. Thanks.
Here's the bastard responsible. Done and dusted.
Not
not bad if I do say
I
so.
hope we get to see this much gameplay of all the games they
Not
showed today.
everyone in London is a
I know, right?
legendary assassin or a super spy.
I'm
but
so excited about this
everyone can
game
be a
because I'm an
hero.
Anglophile, so I love like accents and all that stuff. British accents and all that stuff. So I think it's gonna be exciting. I hope.
So get out there, find the best recruits, and build your resistance.
And I wonder if there's going to be something where you want to make sure you have like a stable
It's
of
time
different
to take back
types. You know,
London.
again, like in a party type game, where
Yeah.
you want to make sure you have one of every
October.
class, right?
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city,
Wow.
teeming with unique locales and characters, has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Munt to tell us more.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because
I feel she
we
was in one of the
do
other
get the
ones.
freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little
I'm
details we
sorry.
want to depict. And we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to. I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity.
Nice.
I was fortunate enough to
All
go
right,
to
everybody,
E3
you gotta
last
go
year.
find
Some
that
of the
boat.
people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they would go, "Oh my God, this feels like Camden. This, you know, this feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster." When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, you know, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
That's cool.
Brawlhalla. This game's
And
already
now
out.
some news for Brawlhalla
Been out
fans.
for a
In just a
while.
few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Oh.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is basically Super Smash Brothers.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Except PAX every year. It'll be interesting if it's on mobile.
It's one of the magic words, crossplay.
Ooh, that's soon.
And now, whether you
Yeah,
need a
I'll
Tom
get you
Clancy
some
action fix
Brawlhalla.
on the go or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
I wouldn't mind seeing a new Heroes of Might and Magic, not just a Might and Magic.
I mean, that was pretty.
The target is being held on the ground floor.
Not sure what this is. Oh, Elite Squad? The hashtag, I guess. I want to say this is a mobile game they showed off last year.
Contact! Moat chain is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound. Danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP.
Yeah, there's Sam Fisher.
Get back in
It's
your
like a
cell.
tactics game with all of the Ubisoft franchises.
Again, I'm enjoying this trailer.
Don't make me regret this.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years
Has it
since
been on
Rainbow Six
mobile?
Siege first launched, and the community
Okay.
has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
I've never played this.
Oh no? Oh, you should
In
come
December
visit me.
2015,
My
a
youngest
small
can go
team
ahead and
released
hold your
Rainbow
hand.
Six Siege,
You listen to him all day.
a game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
Yeah, people have been asking for a new Splinter Cell for a long time.
This is such a special moment, and being at 1 year anniversary of Rainbow Six now, game being stronger than ever, more players today than we had in the past, it means the world to us.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Yes.
Health that touches
Yes,
upon
that would be
subjects
correct.
like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
Through it all, we're always driven by you, our community, and together, we grow stronger.
There is no sequel plan, and we are here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Look at this.
Tous les succès, c'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players strong, we're just getting started. From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank you.
It's pretty amazing what that game has become from
If
where
you
it
haven't
started.
tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Yeah, it should be noted, chat, that the 60 million that they're talking about, that is not active. That's probably registered accounts.
That's true, but it's actually pretty popular, Rainbow Six Siege is right now. Plus their pro
was that?
stuff is doing fairly
In
well.
the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our
Photorealism there was
future
cool.
started to come true. We made some good decisions.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
We
to see
made
how
some
this
bad
game turns out.
Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions.
It's kind of rough launching another
Here we are.
Battle Royale
10
style
billion
game
souls
in
living
saturated
in the
market.
crush of the megacities. But but the people at Prisma changed everything. They gave everyone a way out. The Hyperscape.
Now the special events on Twitch is
In
at
the
1.3
Hyperscape,
million.
The biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Got Lyric hosting it, and Twitch hosting it, Asmongold hosting it.
Okay, so this basically feels like Ready Player One.
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of Hyperscape. And we have to find
It'd
it.
be cool if this game actually has a story mode, but I don't think it does.
Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the
I wonder
edge
if they're
of the
gonna. They could
future.
do a story like
To the
Overwatch does.
Hyperscape.
I'm JC, creative
Where it's
director on
integrated
Hyperscape.
in with the
JC's
play.
work on Far Cry
Yeah.
Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me,
Ooh.
what's exciting is we started building it from scratch. Seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia.
It's a nice sword.
Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that
that would
let
be
you
mine
have
if I
fun,
played
that are
this.
toys that you can play with. And finally,
That's like
it's made as a
playing it as the
spectacle, so all
orange
the viewers
in,
will be able to interact with the
Plants
game on
vs.
different
Zombies.
levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want
It's
to
always
affect
nice
the
when it
whole
has Twitch
battle. So
integration.
things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening. So for me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
So if y'all want to try the beta, get up on that.
Yep.
Watch and learn how it's done. Perfecto.
Showtime.
That's mine.
Yeah, maybe I'll try it. I still like Apex.
It's
like
pretty.
Yeah.
Go time.
Isn't Overwatch 2 supposed to come out this year too?
Watch closely.
I don't know.
Here we go. Konotoshi.
with what's going on with COVID, I don't know. Everybody keeps messing with their dates. I until they say, I don't believe much of anything anymore.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting idea. I don't know if anybody's done that.
The digital world of the hyperscape
When it comes to the battle
gave our
pass,
artists
the
and
first
developers
X amount of levels are
incredible
free.
freedom when it came to designing
pretty
characters.
awesome.
Production manager Anna Maria Muska is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
Well, Destiny 2 has effectively
My
you
name
have
is
a
Anna
battle
Maria
pass. It's
Muska.
just you don't get any
I'm the
stuff
production
unless you buy
manager
it.
for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
Yeah, we'll see how it does.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone,
it's Phil.
Phil Spencer from Xbox. With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery.
All right, what's his shirt?
So
he always
you will
hides
get
things
the
in his
absolute
shirts.
best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing
figure, but I
to
can't.
create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
All right. We know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking.
Yeah,
at that
traditionally,
time.
they've actually done a really good
And
job
then
with all the
leaving
AC games when it
Norway,
comes
which
to
is
the lore and all
barren
that.
but majestic.
They have,
and just
according to
coming
Meg
by
Laidlaw, they
boat
have a
in England
research
and see
team.
those rolling green hills.
That
full
would
of
be like
sheep,
my
full of
dream
life.
job is to be on that.
It's just this moment that
So Ubisoft
most
has an
likely
internal
the Vikings
like research team
felt
that
as
does
well. You
that
need to see this land
finds
of
stuff for you.
opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors.
Shields!
Yikes.
And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face to face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Let's see it. I wonder if this was the actual leaked footage. Did anybody watch the leaked footage that came out?
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
I try to avoid
the epic saga of the
leaked
Viking invasion of England.
stuff.
Yeah, I also didn't watch it, but I'm just
You
curious
play
if
as
this is the
Eivor,
leaked footage.
a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors
That looks nice.
across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal: to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a
We're seeing interface.
Today we
Little bit.
raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot
really
from
nice
the
water.
shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
Love your horns, lead your crew.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools.
How deep is that
and
going to
new
be, the
settlers.
settlement system?
At the heart of your settlement is the
I
Alliance map.
feel like that's like
It
a
will serve as a
cornerstone of this
record of
game.
the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game.
So I wonder if they're going to bring back the Nemesis system.
Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors.
Dang, that's cool.
To face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's
Wow.
weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes.
Okay, they're
with
getting a
host
little
of
Dark
brutal new
Soulsies there.
combat abilities. Snare them with a Viking
Wow.
harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes.
Oh, wow.
Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two
I'm
weapons
sorry,
you
but
wish
I'm going to be
to
lost
unleash a
without my
deadly combination of
recallable
attacks.
axe.
Customize your fighting style as you see fit, and become a legendary Viking warrior.
Stomp.
All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including 2 shields.
People have been asking that forever.
2 shields? I want to see this.
Not all situations call for violence. In this
Yeah,
new
that's
land,
one of those
Oh,
silly
there's
things.
the
that-
way
Assassin
to adapt.
Creed right here.
As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes.
I mean, this is going
An
back to
unseen
early
hunter
Assassin's Creed
among the
stuff here.
people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure. Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment. Ow! Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Oh, the bird's back. I did not enjoy that in the last game.
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
That's cool.
Her. Today we fight for your land, and tomorrow we rebuild.
For East
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise.
Thank you, man.
With unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Wow.
Some more gameplay in the post show. Ooh. All right, what's the date? Is it really right next to Cyberpunk? November 17th.
9th century England is truly
It is.
unlike
That's 2 days
anything
before
the
Cyberpunk.
franchise has seen before. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this
gutsy.
holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before
Oh,
we go, our
yay,
CEO,
Stadia.
Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few
Well,
words.
chat. Which game you playing? Assassin's Creed or Cyberpunk?
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games. But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
It's got to be Far Cry.
Just Dance, Kidley. Just Dance. Where's that?
Yeah, this is Far Cry.
I'm disappointed. Missed opportunity.
So apparently this is a prequel.
Okay, this trailer's cool though.
Yeah.
Really, really pretty.
Yeah, honestly, I think Assassin's Creed might be my stream game, and maybe Cyberpunk I don't stream.
I'm kind of about Cyberpunk since I didn't play any of the other ones. The other CD Projekt Red games. So. Oh, there he is.
Have you played any of the Far Cry's? Yeah, neither
I've
have I.
watched them. I haven't played them. I have like 2 or 3. My son has them.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados.
Whoop. Oh. I was like, that music cut out. It was on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, amigo.
Fresh off The Mandalorian.
Perfect.
Sorry.
But useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now. I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong.
Ooh.
They will answer you with screams, call you evil, a monster, and give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. Do you understand now? Do it.
It's a heck of a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
218.
I do know Far Cry has usually
And with
had
that,
really
we're
good
wrapping up our
baddies,
first Ubisoft Forward.
So
Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Oh, really?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that's what Yves said. They have more games.
So we'll see how much more.
Hey everyone, welcome to the
AC
Ubisoft
we got here,
Forward
chat.
post show. My name is Yusuf McGeed, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So
we're
I
going to
keep
take a
talking
deep
about
dive
Just
into
Dance,
about
but that
30
is what
minutes
my
of
daughter
gameplay, and we're
is
joined by
stoked
a
about when
very
it comes
special
to
guest
Ubisoft.
here.
Is that
Hey
great?
everyone, this is Philip Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Berg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Berg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
We'll have to figure out what these interface markers mean. It's like, what are these two right here, chat?
Sort of want to pick a fight with him.
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc.
The white is probably the health bar, I imagine.
This is something that happens before.
But what are these
Rued
two up here?
basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the
the
sort
one
of
at the top in the
elderman
middle, I
to
believe,
be
is your
to inherit
compass,
this territory,
right?
needs your help to take him
Keeps
down.
moving.
Oswald
Yeah.
having just
Yeah,
been
there's east,
defeated
west,
in a
north,
previous
south.
quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your
Now,
ultimate goal.
So
what's
Fizz,
the
as you're
white
talking,
bar?
we're seeing
you're
some of
talking
the
about the
combat of
Yeah, I think the
Valhalla.
big white
think
one.
one
a
is
little
the
bit about the
stamina bar.
changes to combat
Yeah, the
this time
blue
around.
blue one might be stamina.
Wanted to
And then,
basically add
I
a
think
lot
the
of new
others-
mechanics to it. So
there's
we
a
added
special
like some dual
ability,
wielding for the
right?
player,
You
like a
can
stun
use
system in there.
in Odyssey.
And we really needed to do this
That
to
you
sort
had
of
to
portray
fill
that
up,
sort of
right?
the brutality
Okay.
that comes with being a Viking.
I think the
That's
two
sort of
little blue
stab
ones
with
might be ultimate.
the time
Yeah.
and the character.
Yeah.
like your special ability that you have to power up by getting kills or hits or.
Yeah.
Oswald. He lives.
I think the bottom blue one was the stamina bar.
Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? Two Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize, come and get him.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies. They can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Oh man, we gotta kill another dog.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have a
Double X
to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthily and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued.
We got
or his
abilities
wolf,
on the left
so you can
trigger
play
and the
this a
right
little bit more
trigger.
strategically, if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Rued
That's
here,
awfully
but also his pet wolf, right?
Here, one of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first. Just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now, Rued will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf, but I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
For all your efforts,
Yes,
only the
stop.
cold dark of Niflheim awaits you.
Valhalla is my destiny. That fate will not be met today. Why doesn't they should be roomed, wolf-kissed? Made thralls, not treated as equals. We are better than this, than all of them.
Do not drag me down to the sewage you wallow in.
Welcome
Just
to
a
Kitty's
game fight tooth and nail for a
Dojo.
Saxon.
Feel looking herder.
You'd throw in with these wastrels? These arrogant swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
All right, so we've defeated Rued, we freed Oswald. What comes next?
Oswald, in this case, prefers for Rued to be kept alive, and so you basically have to choose: are you going to go against his wishes or stay true to your nature?
So we have this choice to make, but
So
before we get
Odyssey
into
had
that, I wanna
9 different
rewind a little
endings.
bit
I wonder
because
how
we
many
just did
endings this game will
big
have.
Grand assault.
I don't know, but it's
Eivor couldn't have
impressive
done it alone.
to see.
She clearly had to recruit some folks
I
along
just-
the way,
I-
get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind
I
and see
find
how
it-
we went about first gathering those troops.
Right. So
Hard to believe
when
that they'll
coming
be
up
able
to an
do
assault,
this whole
it's a game of
settlement
numbers.
stuff and all the stuff that they did with Odyssey. I feel like they have to let something go.
I think they let the ship combat go.
strategy, you can do that. And
Yeah, but that doesn't seem enough.
Some of the
I think they're going to have to
ingredients
let
of the
some
assets
of the,
there
like,
that will have been sabotaged, but you
customization,
still need
or
an
not the
army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a Fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people. In his name, she's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane. But the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause. But first, we sort of need to do him a favor. Is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory. So I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side. When Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system, you have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then
wonder
you
if they're
can
going to
go
have
and
the
choose, I'm
cosmetic
gonna-
system in
I'm
on
gonna
day one.
Fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book
You
of
mean
Knowledge.
like,
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that
breadth
has just been
or
unlocked. We
that
have these
the
spread out throughout the
microtransactions?
world. So again, to
What do you mean?
promote
No,
exploration
I mean
and discovery.
for
As you
Odyssey
travel
they
through the
added
world
it
and
like
explore
a month later.
locations, you can
to where
find these
it's
books
basically
that
like a
will add
transmog, where you
abilities
can
that you
make
can
a
go
piece of gear look like something
and
else.
invest
Yeah,
in, put
I
into your loadout,
You said day
then go
one.
into
Oh,
the
okay.
different
Yeah.
locations or
Missed
the
the
different
day one
quests in the
part.
game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Now we've recaptured this
Okay, the
village,
climbing
we've
made
secured
me
more
so
troops
happy
for our assault.
in,
Let's jump
Odyssey.
back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla. So he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
So, Fizz, we've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here
The
with
lighting
a
looks pretty
speech bubble
nice.
above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of
Can you
our
pet the cat?
some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards, again, exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually.
got
You're
it.
telling me I
Cat
could
is
have a
part of
cat
your crew.
Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around
Best
the,
game ever,
the
chat, right here.
rivers of England, you would see a cat
Kitty
basically
is part of
walking
your
around
crew.
your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game, where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is going around, you could decide to have your skald sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are.
And
so
hopefully
you get
it's
to know
smart
your-
enough that
your
it
sort of
won't repeat
fighters
stories.
as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
I don't know. That's asking a lot.
So
especially
here
if you
we're
play-
seeing a
if
bit
it's
of a
as
different
long as
view. What
Odyssey.
exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins, where you would like ride on your horse, and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship, where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the
That's
scenery,
pretty.
listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
They have a mix of both stories and
So,
songs.
you know,
that
speaking
might
of
get you
Viking
there.
songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry, where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Oh boy.
I was going
Here's
to
the
say
silver.
that's what it sounded like.
Now begin.
Rapping.
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge
Oh,
is
so you've got a
flawed.
rhyme?
Well,
How exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
Mistaken, I'm known for my might.
interesting. Interesting.
All right, chat. There we go. The
Silent Whispers
top
all claim
new
that you're
2020
terribly
game
dense.
mechanic, the insult rhyme.
Mm-hmm. Along with the Cat Raider.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven Clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's
What?
it. So we gave Eivor a fishing line,
y'all,
so you
there's
can actually
fishing
throw
in
out a
this game.
line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop, where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But
Very
here,
nice.
you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just, again, take it all in.
This is a baby fish. Oh.
So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here, what you're seeing, though, is sort of like a fancy version of it, where as you do your offering, you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it was just a way for us to sort of showcase that, like, the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
Your stealth needs work.
We were close.
And it also showcases like a different facet of the world at the same time. It's not only Eivor. So it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times with whatever Rued's been doing to the territory. And so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people.
I think the demo we're seeing here,
there to make
there's
offense.
definitely some textures that are not
It's kinda
done
nice to see
or
that
polish
Eivor
that's
wasn't
not
really
done.
necessarily upset at them for stealing, and you know, after you
The
talk to them,
detail
you
on
have
these
the
two
choice of
characters
helping
actually
them,
looks
you know,
better
give
than the
them
main
food,
character.
give them some money, or you know, maybe just say, "Hey, good luck."
Well,
on
it
your
does
way.
say work in progress.
And then
does
this is
not
something we also
represent
wanted to do a
game.
lot. Like
Oh,
if
yeah,
we
I'm
were
sure
doing
this
an
build
event, we
is
do it in
months
quests
old.
as well, but we
That's
wanted
usually what
to,
happens.
you know, give a lot of this agency into players'
Here's
hands
what I
so
pointed
that
out.
they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit, who she is, so it represents them a little bit more, and they can role play that a little bit better. And again, it just gives her like a little bit more humanity in these moments.
What large walkers should do. Provide for small walkers.
Here, large walker.
A necklace.
Yes, it's a St. Martin seal. You're welcome here anytime, large walker. You're one of us now. Visit us, okay?
I will. Take care now, small green walkers.
So I think
wonder
AC
if
veterans
in
might
Odyssey
recognize
they had
this
Greek
here,
folks
but
doing the
what
voices,
exactly
so
is
I wonder
Eivor chasing
who they're
down?
having for,
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of our tattoo
English folks,
images. So this
or-
is challenging the player on free run abilities,
Scandinavian
but also
people.
for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression,
That's cool.
and sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or a building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there, there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind these locations, which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
That's some nice fog.
Mm-hmm. A poor victim of someone's fury.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now, there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will. And basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps.
Wow.
And so here the abilities that you see Regan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning in that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter. And so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
My rage, spirit of my father's rage, fill me!
Yeah, definitely gonna have some fun fights in this one.
Okay, I just finished Jedi Fallen Order, so this reminds me of that last fight. The dodges and stuff.
Crackling. Rest your demons.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyrium.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it is still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all
More
about
fishing.
pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, will find these sort of meditative areas
rock
where
stacking.
you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on on top of one another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
These?
Yes.
Assassin's
Think
Creed
of this as a
Tetris.
test of mind and wit.
Stack the cairn
Oh
stones
man, this is
high
gonna
and
frustrate
wrap
people
into
so
any
much.
shape you like.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there. And so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one, it's sort of cool that we
Until
were
the
able
wind
to
comes, knocks it over.
give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo, we've explored East Anglia, we've met some children, we've broken into a house, we fought a boss, we built a cairn. I think now it's finally time to go and head off to Oswald's wedding.
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to. By the moment you get into the territory, it's sort of like mentioned by Oswald that he's trying to get married with his Dane lady. And so as you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about Rued creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally, after going through all of that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, and you're invited to attend the ceremony. And then all the activities and fun times that comes afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see, the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or a warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a Viking. And so here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool here is it's a
everybody
good
roll a
alliance
Constitution
of
check now.
Norse culture with Saxon culture, sort of smashing those two things together.
That's how we do
building
drinking
bridges.
contests in D&D.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
All I could do was watch that go.
Yeah, so like, anything can happen in a Viking event, right? Eivor, yeah, here, you just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
Barely a challenge.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all.
My king,
Uh-oh.
So here we see the decision I made to spare Rued came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made coming back. So as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
I challenge you. I accept.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Oswald, you gutless Arya swine! I'll slay the wolf-kissed, then hang you with your own tongue.
How does this encounter with Rued differ from our previous fight with him?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him. And so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you. And so this is a fight to the death. And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory and to be a good ally for you.
A great service. I promised you an alliance, and now you have it.
And one day I will need you to make good on that alliance.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on the Longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together. I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Looks really good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute it right there and switch screens because I actually have to get going here in about 5 minutes, but I wanted to try and do at least a little bit of a recap and see if Alise has any final thoughts. So, what'd you think?
It was good. It was pretty much what we thought it was going to be. I don't think the only thing they didn't show was the Gods and Monsters, which I'm sorry. Other than that, I really enjoyed the long looks we got for both games. So I'm stoked for both of them. They both look good. I hope they hold up. I agree with you about I look askance at another Battle Royale, kind of Battle Royale'd out personally, and I don't even play them that much. But I don't know if they can do something different. It might be like The Last of Us 2 coming out when everybody was tired of zombies, and yet they did a twist good enough that everybody loved it. So who knows? Maybe that's what's going to happen here.
But yeah, as far as the games we didn't get to see, no Gods and Monsters, no Beyond Good and Evil 2.
No,
it looks like Skull and Bones is, again, we don't know what's going on with that game.
Maybe they're rebuilding like Anthem.
Yeah, I think they probably are.
It's interesting, honestly, that all these big studios are doing these rebuilding on games that stumble on their launches instead of just shutting them down. That's kind of new behavior. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, if they're rewarded or not. Very interesting.
Yeah, kind of going back to Watch Dogs Legion for a second. For those who don't know, Ubisoft has had a very up and down track record with the Watch Dogs franchise. The first one pretty much set the bar for what is now referred to as like the E3 trailer failure, as far as they're showing us something and then it's nothing like that. But Watch Dogs 2 came out and was pretty much regarded as being a really good game.
Yep.
But they're doing something completely different with this third one, and it's very ambitious, and I think we still have a lot of questions about, like how many quote-unquote classes there are, how much voice acting there is, because they even said, both this year and last year, that whenever you recruit somebody, you actually get to do like a intro mission for each person. So it's like, how many of these intro missions have they done? So,
and each one seems to have their own, well, just to play off of that, but each one has, it looks like, sort of kind of their own personality, at least the way they're presenting them in all of these trailers. That is incredibly expensive and time consuming. So,
yep.
It'll be interesting to see how they do that. I am with you. I think what we think they're going to do and what they're actually going to do are going to be slightly different. I think it's going to be some space in between what they're saying, how we're interpreting what they're saying, and what actually we get. I just don't see. I mean, how many years has it been since Watch Dogs 2 came out?
I can look it up here real quick. It's been a while. Let's see.
But I don't think it's more than 6 years.
2016.
Okay, so it's only been 4 years, right? I'm doing math right?
Yep.
That's really not that long when you think Last of Us 2 was 6 and a half, 7 years almost.
Yep.
Like, I don't, and they're, yeah, I'm just, now granted, Ubisoft is the largest studio, I believe, in the space. So I imagine they can pull in lots of other little associates, studios to be able to work on stuff. But still, that's a lot to do in 4 years.
Yeah, and they're doing a Far Cry about every 2-3 years, and it looks like they're doing Assassin's Creed every 2 years now.
Yeah. And it's not the old Assassin's Creed either. I mean, like, even 2 years, like they used to do it every year-ish, right?
Yep.
But this is different. This is like making something closer to like a Bethesda RPG or a BioWare RPG every 2 years. Could you imagine? Could you imagine BioWare being able to pull that off? Like, I just, it's, wow. So we'll see. I hope they manage to pull this off without burning out their staff. But we'll see. Yeah, and I just wonder about God and Monsters. I know you have to go, but I wonder if they are. You were talking about the rumor that they were thinking about renaming it. That just says to me, it feels kind of like if they're going to the point of renaming the game, that maybe they decide to pull it back in and work on it some more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
and that game had a release date, and at this point, it looks like it's probably going to be pushed back like a full year at a bare minimum. You know, at least with something like Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones never had a release date. But yeah, initially it was supposed to be Gods and Monsters and Watch Dogs Legions were both spring games. So.
And they were explaining that away by saying it was basically leftover assets from previous games. So, you know, oh, we don't have to do much. We just use that, and then we just added some on it. It's no big deal. Kind of sounds like it was a big deal. Or maybe, you know, the pandemic actually hurt this particular team. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and once again, here on the screen, they're showing Hyperscape, which is a new battle royale from Ubisoft, for anybody who is wanting to know what game this is. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that was my game of the year 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember, was it in your top 5 as well?
It was.
So.
It was an excellent game, especially for those of us who are BioWare fans.
Yep.
It very much felt like BioWare, a BioWare-ish game, which there's not enough out there for me personally. But so that's why it was excellent. It wasn't my game of the year, but it was just because there was. At least I don't remember it being my game of the year. I don't think it was.
Wasn't that the Plague Tale year?
Yes. So it was last year?
No, it was 2 years ago,
before.
I think.
Okay.
Or was Plague Tale last year? Maybe Plague Tale was last year.
Last year was Plague Tale. Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at the tape. I don't remember.
I know, right? We've done so many. It's hard to remember. But it was in my, I do believe it was in my, it was absolutely in my top 5. So.
Well, cool, everybody. Yeah, sorry that I got to cut this short, but yeah, I got to get going. So, yeah, if there's anybody who wants to keep watching this, it'll be on twitch.tv/Ubisoft. I can host it here as well. But yeah, once again, Alise, thanks for coming out. Really do appreciate it.
Anytime. Always happy to have the invite.
Yep, and looks like we've got an Xbox One coming up here in a couple of weeks, and then they just announced another Ubisoft Forward, and so we'll probably be covering those as well.
I'm very much looking forward to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
After all the flaming for the last one.
But yeah, big thanks to chat and everybody else that came out to this one. Really do appreciate it. We'll see everybody tomorrow for some more Civilization, and we're still working on a Final Fantasy VII Remake. So hope everybody has a fantastic rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world, and we will see you guys next time. So have a good night, and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.